I welcome you all. Thank you all for joining in. I can see a lot of participation from different countries. That's amazing. So, thank you all for taking out the time from your busy schedules and for making it to the webinar series. We want to kick it off, but even before that, I want to lay some ground rules. We'll be recording the webinar, and in case if you have any questions, queries, suggestions, you can use the chat window to talk to the speaker. We'll also be conducting a few polls during the webinar, which would take 10 to 15 seconds. We'd encourage maximum participation. And I think with that, we are good to start. So a quick background to why revenue growth management. At Polestar, we work very closely with a lot of manufacturing and consumer good clients, and we specialize in analytics and planning use cases. Revenue growth management happens to be an area where we have worked extensively out and out across the entire spectrum of revenue growth management, be it assortment, be it pricing, be it trade promotion, be it trade spend, be it dynamic pricing as well. So we, on popular demand from our customers and some prospects, we thought we'll, create a webinar series and bring to you. And for joining us in this webinar series is our Senior Vice President and Industry Head, Saurabh Singh, who heads the CPG and retail verticals. Hey, Saurabh, welcome on board.
Hi everyone. Thanks for joining in.
So, sort of just to kick it off, I had a quick poll for the audience that what all consists of revenue growth management. So I just want to check out what our audience feels about that. So here's just a quick small poll. I would love if people can send in the responses. We'll just take 10 seconds over here. Okay, thank you for the responses. Just for our viewers, we'll be conducting this webinar series throughout June and July, and the dates for the following would be as follows. Yeah, can we move to the next slide? Yeah. So you can find the registration link on our social media handles, and you can register yourselves. In case if you find any difficulty in registering, you can feel free to reach out to Saurabh or myself, and we'll be approachable on LinkedIn. With that, Saurabh, I want to welcome you to this webinar series, and I want to ask you what's planned for today, what's in store for the audience.
Thanks, Fozan. Again, welcome everybody. The idea for this RGM series was to take point by point basis what goes into RGM, what goes into revenue growth management, or NRM, some people call it net revenue management, or by any other name. So we are taking a stock today in terms of what a typical commercial function would look at from the analytics perspective. We'll go and dissect it by different processes, by different functions working together, and how analytics can intervene in between to give a lift in terms of the entire growth management aspect of it. So today's agenda is mostly around to set up the context for the upcoming 3 more webinars, which will be more in depth in each and every aspect of pricing or trade promotion or overall commercial planning. So we are going to talk about how analytics can intervene in commercial function and how commercial function can gain from all those interventions which we can offer.
A little birdie also told me that you're going to show some demonstration of a generative AI product. Is that true?
Yes, so nothing is complete without talking about LLM these days. So yes, we are going to show a brief video on how our in-house LLM can help you, talk to your data and how it is very specific to trade promotion. For example, in this video that we are going to show you, how you can efficiently work towards your trade spends, how can you optimize them, and how you can basically talk to your data and then take actions to optimize your spend. So that is going to be a very interesting bit, which we are going to talk towards in the end.
Wonderful. Love it, love it. So I think we're all going to look forward to that. Saurabh, the floor is yours.
Sure. Thanks. I think we can move on to the next slide. Yes. So, let's start by understanding uh, a typical, a chief commercial officer, if I can say so. What would she like to know and understand so that, she can effectively manage her commercial function? So, the domains you would want to explore, it could be related to mainly three categories which are written over here. One could be the product channel strategy, the customer's experience, and value and pricing profitability. Now, questions could be which products to bundle, any cannibalization done by new products, or is there a halo effect which is coming in, understanding customer sentiments and preferences, and what is the right marketing mix, and so on. But what do you think are the most important questions from an RGM perspective? In my opinion, questions regarding the customer acquisition, the understanding of the customer journey, the ROI on the marketing spend, and finally, what impacts my product gross margin. Those would be the key questions somebody would like to understand. And if you are able to answer these questions, then voila, you have the key components of your RGM or NRM, right? Sonali, we can move on to next. But the traditional CPG companies, they also face several challenges that hinder its ability to respond to market demands efficiently. Now, these challenges could include lack of customer insights, which make it difficult to understand and predict customer behavior. Additionally, siloed customer planning results in disjointing strategies that fail to address the holistic needs of the market. It could be that ineffective demand forecasting further aggravating the problem, which could lead to stock imbalances. There is also a significant lack of effective analytics and planning capabilities that might be there, which would limit the ability to make data-driven decisions. Now, limited promotional effectiveness also reduces the impact of marketing efforts, which would result in suboptimal sales performance, and obviously the lost dollars in terms of what could have been achieved. So opportunity loss is also there. Other problems which include are lack of real-time insights, which would mean marketing strategies are often based on outdated information. This would lead to generic marketing strategies that fail to resonate with target audiences, a typical spray and pray kind of exercise. Additionally, marketing teams would struggle to adapt quickly to market changes, market dynamics, making them prone to errors. Inefficient marketing spend is another critical issue, as resources are not always allocated to the most effective channels, which would lead to wasted budget and missed opportunities for engagement and conversions. So these are some of the typical pain points that we've observed by virtue of working with different clients in CPG. There you have it, the goal number 2, I would say.
It's a multiple choice. You can select more than one of the options. Perfect. I'm seeing a lot of responses coming in. Take 10 more seconds. Saurabh, back to you.
Thank you. This slide is very, very busy. Apologies for that. But continuing from the last slide, traditionally, sales, marketing, operations, they have not done a very good job of working together around customer experience or the entire customer journey. For example, marketing team can give very good details or information about the demographic or the behavioral data, but sales and operations are not very, very sure what to do with that. How can they improve upon their sales using that data, right? But using big data or data analytics, we can understand customer and their journeys and create a bridge between the two disciplines by providing behavioral data that is both observable in the operations and more predictive of the true nature of the client needs or customer needs and wants, right? Rather than only giving them socioeconomic segmentations. So as marketing and operations become more effective at working on journeys and companies collect and analyze even greater amounts of data, we are going to see a whole new wave of value generation by this data that is getting to get collected. Some companies are already starting to use this data to predict customer behavior very, very effectively. And we'll talk about such companies in the coming slides. Therefore, we need to understand that analytics is not an island. Okay. It is embedded across the processes. Each process area has a balance of performance reporting, analytics, and the monitoring part of it. Now, be it insight generation, strategic planning, operational planning, and finally execution excellence, which is basically the cycle of planning, acting, and evaluating, right? So if you start looking at sub processes, these are very much aligned to the questions that a commercial officer or the team may need answers to, which we started with, which the webinar started with that slide, wherein all those questions were there across these areas. Okay, like if you can look at it like brand and category, channel and customer, trade management, consumer marketing, sales planning, etc. So how this you have to read through is that there is specific commercial insight and planning excellence for a vertical or function which will have data coming in from multiple areas. It could be internal data, it could be segment third party data, syndicated data, right? It could be between varied between sales function, consumer marketing and trade marketing, right? Using that, you would generate insights basis which the input should go into the planning part of it, the strategic planning. Before from there, it will come down to operational planning and finally leading to the execution excellence. Okay, moving on, Sonali. So what that all meant was very important to note is that the lines between the analytics, planning, and execution are blurring. So as I told you, on previous slide itself, the insights become an input to your planning cycle, and effective planning leads to the effective execution across trade promotions, marketing, sales, effectiveness, and consumer interaction. Right. So the very first part of it, which you start from the left-hand side, defines your commercial intelligence and analytics. It defines the vision, and across which you need to build your the basic platforms, data platforms on which you can gain insights on customer, their journeys, the shoppers, what they want, what they need. From there onwards, you can accordingly plan your strategic investments around product, around customer, around the trade partners, the channels. Therefore, you'll have effective trade investment. Therefore, you'll have effective sales effectiveness. Your territory and quota planning, your sales incentives, all those part becomes very, very important. And data, it is backed by data, backed by insights. Then marketing excellence, and you are doing the interactions with the customers on multiple paths, multiple moments of truth, and therefore your execution on that, identifying the customer from digital to the offline channel, or identifying the customer at different channels, different moments of truth becomes easier for you. Moving on. And to capture all of that, you need to obviously capture and measure value across the customer movement that matter. It requires a complete ecosystem. The data should be captured across channels and across data sources. To paint a full picture of your customers, you will need access to access and integrate marketing, sales, service, social, survey data, your operations data. You will then need to tie this back to the backend system data to be able to draw connections between the customer experience value, their business value, and finally, to make the most of the insights, you will need to make use of analytics and data visualization tools to display these insights in a clear and actionable format. Strategies. To achieve this, we can build a custom solution for, as a Polestar, we can build solutions for your organization, leveraging your current footprint and incorporating any additional systems which are needed over there. I would leave it at this slide for 10-20 seconds to just read through it. Yeah, the next one, Sonali, sorry. Once we have all of that, right, and there are a number of use cases that we can serve. While you can read through the slides, let me talk about some of the important ones, which would starting from customer segmentation, which is the starting point for almost all the use cases which you are looking at this slide. But portfolio optimization, macro level analytics of what's carrying in general includes new products that we should carry based on attribute gaps in your portfolio. We can talk about the assortment optimization. The account level clustering includes attribute based incrementality and transferable demand, your space optimizations, your adjacency and secondary placements, right? All of these become very important across your journey. Then demand based store clustering, right? Stores with similar demand patterns based on attributes that are being keyed in on. How do you actually talk about your pricing and promotion analytics, right? The cost to serve, the margin leakage, how much trade promotion should I give? What's the BTL spend should I have? How can I optimize it? And and obviously this will depend on the objective of it. Do you want to increase the market share? Do you want to increase sales? They sometimes both will go hand in hand. Sometimes they both might not. And you have to do that very profitability. So profitability and the margin becomes very important. Therefore, you need to look at the margin leakage as well. And finally, the channel management becomes very important. You need to optimize the resources across sales, distributors, your primary, secondary channel partners, right? So all of this would be done once you have the other things that I talked about earlier.
So for our audience at Polestar, we have built a periodic table of elements. So similar to those elements, we have actually built a periodic table of revenue growth management analytics KPIs, which categorizes them across different, processes and their strategic importance, their financial importance, and their operational importance. If you're interested in obtaining that, tool from us, please submit your responses on the poll. We'll get in touch and share this with you. So we'll just take 10 more seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, back to you, Saurabh.
Sure. Now, let us talk about, how do you actually go about developing these solutions or analytics programs as such, right? So at Polestar, let's move on, Sonali. So at Polestar, what we do is, we follow a framework which would help us design a BI analytics program, and you can also, take this up. So what we do is, we typically conduct workshops, design workshops, discovery workshops, wherein we spend 2 to 4 days, depending on the breadth of the domains that we are taking up, under a guided design thinking environment. We bring in our assets, accelerators, and domain knowledge to these workshops and provide direction to the thought process and brainstorming sessions. I mean, you all can do it yourself because you understand your business better than anyone else. So what you do is you always start with a business problem or question that needs to be answered. We need to understand the pain points, the issues, and corresponding opportunities which are there. To do that, we need to understand the activities performed under those business processes, which are the functions involved who are performing those activities. There could be a collaboration between a couple of functions, and then find out a set of monitoring and improvement levers. So I want to improve my OTIF, or I want to improve my customer acquisition. Anything could be a problem statement over there. Now, each of these levers will have a set of metrics and KPIs, right? This is where the entire KPI framework is designed. And then you find out, go back slowly. Then you find out what data is required for these metrics. Is it available in your enterprise environment, in your internal data sources or not? Do you need to procure if you need some third-party data? Do I need to take some syndicated data source? Will the problem need an algorithm to be built? So is it a problem which can be solved by a simple descriptive analysis, or do I need to build algorithm and look at predictive or prescriptive kind of analytics, or do I need to bring in LLM these days? Would I need OpenAI for this? And finally, how this information will be consumed by my users. So I have to understand those personas. What insights, what data points would be given to them so that they can take decisions. So those the information consumption should be such that actionable insights are being thrown to them, and they are able to take decisions based on that. Now, now what we do is the similar levers are grouped into initiatives, and each initiative will all have all these elements backed up by underlying data integration models. So obviously, data platform is required. Then these initiatives are grouped into waves and sprints to give a complete timeline. Also take into consideration if there are any ongoing initiatives which may impact your timelines. For example, if somebody is going for a upgrade on SAP and they're going on SAP Rise, then there might be a dependency on that in terms of data coming in from there. You might not want to take it from your older version. You might want to take those data points once the Rise is on a production environment, right? So you need to take into effect of all these ongoing initiatives, which might impact your analytics initiatives. Using this, we have implemented a lot of projects for our clients. Couple of success stories which are there is, one of the success story is around a multinational alcohol beverages company facing challenges in accurately forecasting the depletions part of it, how much is getting depleted at their primary or secondary sales. Then modeling the deal pricing, optimizing the promotional spends, simulating pricing changes and generating operational reports is what they wanted to do. So our solutions actually streamlined their commercial planning process and the execution part of it, enabling them to forecast the shipment and depletions both, optimize the promotional spend. We gave them a pricing mechanism as well to look at pricing of their products, SKUs as well to that level. Then we also implemented workflow-based investment approvals to enhance efficiency and control over operations. This actually led to a 12% increase in net sales revenue and 8% improvement in the marketing ROI, 12% reduction in promotional spend, while 30% reduction in the investment approval time. Since it all came down to a single platform for them, the lot of overheads were reduced because of that. Second one is around an Australia-based beverage company. They are actually, a group of bottlers, I would say. So there's a group of 67 independent bottlers. We facilitated successful collaboration among all bottlers and implemented a cost-effective trade promotion management solution for them. By leveraging analytics approach, we integrated applications across finance, supply chain, and sales teams onto a single technology platform. This actually resulted in a benefit of up to 25% expense reduction compared to previous legacy system. And also their integrated applications across this thing, since it was all on one platform, again, there are a lot of efficiencies and effectiveness was brought into this system by utilizing this specific application that we developed for them. Apart from this, we also have examples how industry leading peers of yours might be using commercial analytics. For example, P&G, it uses demand forecasting and inventory management. They apply predictive analytics and machine learning algorithms to analyze historical sales data, market trends, and they take into effect the impact of the external factors on the demand. This approach significantly improved the forecast accuracy for them. They reduced stockouts and optimized the inventory levels. The business impact included a 10% reduction in the stockouts, 20% reduction in inventory, and 30% improvement in the 30% improvement in forecast accuracy, leading to better sales, production planning, resource allocation, and therefore improved margins. While Nestle applied analytics for sentiment analytics to monitor and analyze consumer opinions on social media and other online platforms. This allowed them to respond quickly to consumer concerns and preferences, resulting in a 20% improvement in brand sentiment, a 15% increase in customer satisfaction, and 10% increase in sales. They particularly got better after the entire Maggie fiasco in India. So they have learned a hard way, but now they are getting much and much better in their entire execution and the entire social media handling part of it. But all said and done, nothing is complete without mentioning the uh, LLMs, the chat GPTs of the world. So companies have, got onto the bandwagon already. It's obviously disruptive. It's extraordinary and it's very much hyped. Why hyped? Because people just want to start onto the use cases. They are not still looking into what is working best for them, which are the use cases they should start with, how the the most worrisome part is that people are still not realizing how much ROI a particular use case would give them, right? But then there are few good use cases that people have started working on. So a global toy car manufacturer, they are utilizing LLMs for their addition of new product designs using text to image generation. So their designers give very good text prompts, basis which the images come up and then they are going towards the production line. We have worked with an Indian FMCG to improve the company's ability to access insights from their own data estate. So this is what we're going to show you in a bit. We have a platform called Polestar AI, which is a conversational AI assistant which sits on the top of your data. It could be a data lake, it could be sitting on Synapse, or it's sitting on Fabric or somewhere else. It talks to that data and brings out insight. Shortens the entire insight generation cycle, right? And it needs absolutely no or very limited need for model training, depending on the kind of data that we are training it on. We are going to show this to you in a bit. Similarly, Colgate and Henkel are also using this in a very innovative way. So Henkel is actually using it for personalized marketing campaigns. They're creating the website creatives out of it. The entire consumer loyalty and since it becomes more and more personalized, the consumer are not getting too many of the messages which are not relevant for them. Similarly, Colgate is using it for their specific retailers and the audience of the retailers by converting the messaging very, very specific for them. And there are multiple other such use cases wherein companies have started utilizing them in a much more innovative manner, and mainly but on the marketing content side, many of them are using them using to more and to personalize the messaging more and more, create the content, create the creatives. A lot is done on the like the global toy car manufacturer. A lot of things, a lot of them are using it for their design purposes. With this, I think Fozan and Sonali, we can get into that demo and show that video very quickly.
Dashboards are mainstream now, but users still need human intervention in correlating, interpreting, and accessing the information. What if you could summarize, compare, query, predict, and take actions from your enterprise data right from your Microsoft Teams chat? Meet Polestar AI, Pi, your personal generative AI, built on Azure OpenAI that not only understands your data, but is intricately woven into the fabric of your business. Let's see Pi in action. Try Pi today.
We understand the video may be just like an introduction to it, but you know, the product has a lot more features, not just summarization and searching, but has advanced capabilities like deep diving into the data, bringing it. Firstly, getting a response very quickly to you, parsing all that underlying data. Second, it can create charts and graphs on the fly, depending upon what way you want it to represent the data, whether it's in a tabular format or in a graph or a line chart or a bar graph. Uh, and then the best part is it's integrated in your Microsoft Teams or Slack, so you can easily communicate with anybody throughout the organization.
Yeah.
So if you're interested for a 7-day trial of Pi, please leave your response and we'll get in touch.
So moreover,
Yeah, I
it is
think
also improving upon the entire data literacy or the adoption in your company. The way you are talking to your data, the way the insights are coming in, you can utilize it for many more things. For example, if you're propose to send certain answers to certain questions to a certain list of people every morning, let's say, so we can schedule that via Pi as well. So, your field sales require some, everyday morning they need something which is how much sales they've done, what's the achievement, which stores do they need to, visit today, what's the time they would ideally need to spend over there, what time of the day, what time of the day to visit certain stores, what should be pushed into those stores for sales is all something that you can configure over here, and daily morning schedule can go, and this can go into their mobiles or mails, whichever way you want to schedule it.
Simply put, it's the last mile delivery of insights to your organization. And as Saurabh said, this is really a game changer when it comes to data literacy. And today, a lot of our customers are actually leveraging data to make it a competitive advantage to beat the competition as well as the market forces. That I think we have come to the conclusion of our webinar. Uh, So we do have, follow up on this one. Saurabh, thank you so much for, spending the time today to talk about the first of the series, which is commercial analytics. We'd be having the next webinar on the 26th of June. And Saurabh, would you maybe want to educate about the next webinar on sales performance management? What the
Yeah,
audience can expect in that?
Yeah, that is very specifically targeted at your field sales. What mechanism could be there to send recommendations to them, to evaluate them on a set of parameters, a set of frameworks that we have already built as an asset from our side. We are also going to show you a demo on that, how and how these things are being done, how the your field sales is being evaluated upon, how their performance is getting evaluated, what are the interventions from the AI ML perspective over there, and how that can be shown as an intuitive dashboard, for example, right? So all those could be covered over there.
Wonderful. So we're looking forward to that one. And whoever wants access to the recording of this particular session, we'll be floating that soon within this week itself. And with that, Saurabh, Sonali, thank you for this lovely webinar. And our dear audience, thank you all for joining in and taking out the time of your busy schedule. Looking forward to
Thanks
the next
everybody.
one. Thank you all.